Hey besties, this week we are doing an acrylic clipboard using vinyl and glitter and epoxy. But before then, let me welcome you guys to our YouTube channel and make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms under Misfit Makers and click that subscribe button for any new content. Make sure you check out our websites and our Patreon. Okay, so we're gonna start off with an acrylic, that's kind of hard to say, acrylic clipboard. This is actually my son's from last year's school. As you can see, it's very well loved, but we're gonna give it a little facelift. We're gonna start off with taping the back of our clipboard just to ensure that the epoxy doesn't roll over, drip over, and make cleanup much harder. But this is optional if you're a clean crafter, but I just wanted to avoid that step. Next, we're going to cover the clip in painter's tape as well, just to protect it and make it much easier for cleanup. The other thing that we also want to do is clean your clipboard if you need to. I didn't sand it or anything because it's pretty beat up, but if it's very slick, I would definitely sand just a little bit, just to keep some of that or get some of that slick off, and you want to clean it off as well. Okay, next we are going to make a 4-inch line from the bottom. Here I'm just using tape and a ruler kind of for my measurement, and then we're gonna get along with the vinyl. And as far as where you can get these acrylic boards, you can get them pretty much anywhere online as Amazon or any craft store or where you get school supplies. After you have it nice and measured as you would like, then you get your vinyl. The vinyl that I'm using is from the Glitter Guy. It's the Ghost Pearl vinyl. It is so cool. It's like a mix between holographic and then opal, and it's also clear so it shines through. So I'm really excited. Okay, so I am just doing a rough measurement around how much I need. Obviously, I do not want to waste this whole sheet of beautiful ghost opal, so I'm only going to cut out a piece here, exactly just enough for what I need. So just like you apply vinyl, you want to apply it slowly and very carefully so you do not trap bubbles underneath whatever project, whether it be a tumbler, a clipboard, a notebook, or any flat surface. So just take it slowly, do a little bit at a time. So I am going to fold over just a little piece. As you see here, it's giving me grief. And then I'm going to start applying it, lining it up with the tape, and then just slowly, very slowly rolling it onto the clipboard. As you see here, I am using a little felt squeegee to kind of minimize the possibilities of having any little bubbles or wrinkles in my vinyl. So I'm just kind of using it to smooth it out, kind of work them out really good. You may have to use a pin pen or an X-Acto knife to pop some of those bubbles and then work them out. I think I had to do a few just to get it nice and smooth. Okay, here I am trimming the edges of my vinyl just to remove the excess. And also something that I do on the other side, I don't know if it's in the video, is that I hold my X-Acto blade at an angle. That way I can get a nice clean cut around the edges. So you don't want any of your vinyl sticking out further than your clipboard, or else you won't get a good seal. Okay, next we're going to use our painter's tape as a measurement again, and we're stacking 3 pieces of painter's tape in a straight line, and that's going to be our measurement, so where we're going to put our words. You can make it thicker, you can make it smaller, or you don't even have to put a gap. I just decided to have a gap for this design. So again, I'm using my Ghost Pearl vinyl from the Glitter Guy and rough measurement and cutting. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side of the clipboard. Again, very slowly peeling our vinyl towards the edge. The tricky part about this side of our clipboard is that we have the actual clip. So there's really no good way to explain how to cut around it other than just take your time, a very sharp X-Acto blade and just very slowly trim around your clip. So just take your time. Like I said, there's no good tutorial on how to do it other than just do it and do it slowly and be patient. So as I sit here and work this vinyl towards the clip, I just want to talk to you guys about this Ghost Pearl vinyl. As you see behind the white backing of the actual vinyl, it looks pinky orange, but against the black, it looks almost like a lime green neon. And actually in the right line, you can still see that rainbow shift that you see on a white background. So just keep in mind when you use Ghost Pearl vinyl, you are going to get different looks. So be mindful of your base, glitter base that you use under this color. It is very beautiful, but if you don't want a green scheme, don't put it under dark. And if you don't want a pink and orange screen, don't put it under white. So just so you guys have an idea. Okay, so like I said, there's no real big tutorial on how to cut around the clip. The clip is just a pain in everybody's behind because it has all these little nooks and crannies. But like I said, just work slowly, take your time, and don't be afraid if you make a mistake. I believe I included one of my mistakes here when I overcut and then I try to piece together, and then at the end you can't even see it. Once it's all decorated and everything epoxied and glittered, nobody sees it. So enjoy this. Next, we are going to put the vinyl words. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes you get little bubbles under your vinyl. No matter how slow you take it or how much smoothing you do out, sometimes it just happens. So as you see, I was making little holes and then with my pin pen and then smoothing it out. And then finally, just cutting off some of this excess. Okay, before we go with our words that we're gonna put on there, I forgot, get your nail tape or cut out your vinyl strips in your cutting machine. But here I used a holographic nail tape that I had, or maybe it's washi tape, but either one will work. And this will just really cleans it up, makes your lines straight. So if your lines were a little wonky, this is your time to shine. And fix them. Okay, so I did an offset on the word Misfit Makers, as you see in the same Ghost vinyl or Ghost Opal vinyl, and then I am doing using that as an offset and then placing Misfit Makers over it. And I'm going to be honest, I think I cut it out in pink and green and black and all these colors until I found the one that popped the most, which was white. But here it is with the little offset. Now we are ready to get to the, oh, I missed an eye, I believe. There we go. So after you apply your vinyl, your nail tape, then we are ready to quick coat it. As you can see, this Ghost Opal vinyl is kind of metallic, I would consider it. And anything that's metallic or holographic or this Ghost Opal, you want to make sure you seal it with quick coat. It dries super easy. You don't have to spin it. It takes about 20 minutes to dry. Just coat it really quick. You just need a couple of drops, let it dry, and then it's ready for epoxy. The reason we do this quick coat to seal it first is so that our epoxy doesn't fisheye, it doesn't repel, and cause little divots in your work. So we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna get ready for the next step. Next, we're going to go ahead and epoxy it. We're going to be using Facet by CCDIY, and we're going to be using the Glitter Guys mica in the color Ultra White as an additive to add a little sparkle to our clipboard. So I mix 30 mLs of Facet, 15 and 15, and we're going to apply a nice thin coat over our clipboard. make sure that you use some wax paper to protect your surface or some silicone mats, and also make sure your surface is leveled. You don't want any of your epoxy pulling on one side or the other. The other thing that I did is that I placed my clipboard over either a painter's tape or something, or a little cutting board or something. You just want to make sure that it's slightly hovering over your surface so it doesn't stick to your paper, and also make sure that is also level as well. I think I used a little wooden like cutting board to hover my clipboard so it would not drip. You kind of want to avoid it dripping too much over the edges, but you certainly don't need to be too careful either. Okay, so after it's nice and cured, here I did actually 2 coats of epoxy of facet before it was completely smooth and ready to go. Now you can clean up your clipboard, removing that tape from the back, making sure you use your X-Acto knife to remove any lingering pieces of epoxy. And then of course you want to remove your tape from your clip as well. And then just kind of clean up any dripping epoxy from around your clipboard. So I did, like I said, I did 2 coats of epoxy and I sanded lightly between each coat, and then she was completed and so sparkly. So I hope this tutorial helped you and inspired you to make your own clipboard. There's so many possibilities with different color combinations. I hope that I inspired you to make your own. Thank you so much for all your support, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel for next week's video. See you guys later.